want to do a video talking about the education system and how the Freemason influence has infiltrated the entire system, especially the college system, but also the K through 12 system. Ultimately, it really is actually a church of satanic atheism. That's what school is. It's where we go to learn and be brainwashed, and we call it learning about all these things that we're told to keep us from believing in God. And it's quite sinister, it's quite evil. And it's funny that all the professors at these colleges, one of the first things they talk about is why they don't believe in God, and they try to ask if anybody's a believer in these college classes, and they immediately attack the faith of the believers in the college classes. It's a system of brainwashing that this world is doing to keep people from knowing the all-important, life-saving, soul-saving truth of the Bible and of Jesus Christ. And there's so many people saying the lie over and over again that people aren't willing to stand up against it and speak the truth of Jesus Christ in the King James Bible. And they have so much fun mocking religious people because it's them versus the very few actually religious people out there. And then there's all the fake religious people, and they use them as this to say, oh, well, look how dumb they are, look how nonsensical they are. And a lot of the times they are just that. They're nonsensical, they're not preaching correctly, they're preaching confusion, or they'll even live wickedly and be a bad testimony for real Christianity. So since there's so many of these people all grouping up against whether they're real Christians or not, to them they feel like they have the upper hand. But they just don't. That's the thing. They're pitting themselves against something, against a being that is so powerful that there's no possible way that they could survive the fate that God has appointed for them as unbelievers. If they want the mercy, it's an open door. They can go through that door, which is Jesus Christ and faith in the gospel, at any moment, at any point in time. It could literally be today. You could believe the gospel today and know you're saved for the rest of eternity from hell. But people are so caught up on just making fun of believers or trying to put down the idea that the Christian faith is actually factual and there's actual truth behind it. Well, the fact of the matter, there is. There's so much factual truth to Christianity. Scientific data and evidence. One of the biggest things is the fact that our cosmology directly implies, our scientifically observable cosmology directly implies that the scriptures are, in fact, scientifically accurate. This is one of the things that people have such a hard time with. They don't want to believe that we live on a flat earth, just like we've always believed before the Freemasons came in and started brainwashing generation after generation into believing in atheism. This is what the purpose of the Freemasons was to do. It was to brainwash all these generations to keep them so they don't even accept the mercy that's available to them and the eternal life that's available to them. They don't even believe that there is eternal life or eternal death. They don't believe in an afterlife at all. And this is part of the lies of Satan, that the Freemasons, who in fact worship Satan, it's a factual piece of information, plenty of quotes and references and symbols showing that these people are hardcore, full-blown Satanists, and they do satanic evil things that are despicable. And only a person with a twisted mind would ever think that they're okay or that Satanism is okay. And it's so funny how people are defending this system that's protecting these child murderers and people who are leading souls to hell by the millions. And yes, they literally murder children, and they drink their blood. They get adrenochrome from the blood of children that they murder. And it's disgusting. And this is the type of things that these people do. So people defending atheism, you're basically defending those people. Because these are the same people teaching everybody the theories in school that leads people down such a dark path to where they could possibly even ever think of doing something like that, or thinking that it's okay, or thinking that they can continue to live their lives normally after having done such a thing. It's a complete rebellion against God. They do the absolute worst things, literally, on every level, whether it's their words or their actions. And anybody defending this theory of atheism, you're literally defending these people, because you're saying, yep, there's no God, and they can just keep getting away with all that wicked things that they've been doing and that they continue to do. And it's like you're saying that it's okay for all these people to do all these evil, wicked transgressions, murders, thefts, lies. And one of the worst of all is the proliferation of godless lies, telling people that the Bible isn't true. And that's exactly what the atheist school system does to people. It's a sad thing, because so many people, they just throw away God and the Bible because they believe that if you were to truly believe it, then you're a backwards, non-scientific person. And to them, it's an easy way out of having to concern themselves with God. They say, well, what we call science, what all us liars call science, tells us that there is no God. And it makes them feel really good about the choice they made to sign up for eternal flames in hell. But they're so wrong. If only they did a little bit of honest research into the truth, something that contradicts the same brainwashing we're all told from childhood, telling us that there's no God, and then teaching bullying in school rather than love thy neighbor, to make sure that anybody who speaks up will always be put down and bullied. They won't even be able to have friends. You see, this is the system. They train people to become the gatekeepers of hell themselves.